The first translation in French was very inexact and contained many interpolations and false versions of the original. Dr. Louis Elias Dupin and Dr. Hindu of the Sorbonne made this translation the foundation of virulent attacks. Dupin was called by Pope Clement XI Nequarius Doctrine Hominium, a man of pernicious doctrines. Hindu turned out to be a rabid and fanatical Jansenist cut off from the church as a heretic. As they and other members of the Sorbonne succeeded in enlisting the sympathy of influential Gallican courtiers and church dignitaries, both in Paris and at Rome, they secured a clandestine prohibition of the City of God, which appeared in the Acts of the Congregation of the Office. When it was discovered, no one could be found who would dare stand sponsor for it, and immediately Pope Innocent XI, on November 9, 1681, annulled an act positively decreeing that the City of God be freely spread among the clergy and laity. The very fact that this prohibition did not issue from the Index Commission, but from a department not concerned with the examination of books, proves that it owes its insertion to Gallican intrigue, secrecy extending even to the high circles in Rome. And to the fair-minded, this sectarian attempt will be a convincing argument for the excellence and orthodoxy of the doctrines contained in the Revelations of Mary of Agreda. Many additions. The popularity and excellence of the great history of the Mother of God is also evidenced by its widespread diffusion. It has appeared in over 60 editions in Spanish, Italian, French, Portuguese, German, Latin, Arabic, Greek, and Polish. It does not seem providential that the first English translation of this great work should have been reserved for our times. Does it not seem providential? No other language on the face of the earth is the medium of so many theories, sects, and isms as the English language, and the City of God is a most timely and efficient antidote for the epidemic of false doctrines which is sweeping over all the earth and affects especially the English-speaking portion of the human race. Expectations of the translator. The translator and promoter of the City of God is confident that it will not be one of the books idly filling the shelves of libraries, but one, at the first cursory inspection, will arouse a desire of further inquiry and lead to repeated and attentive perusal. The translation herewith offered is an exact and as perfect a rendition of the original Spanish into English as 10 years of assiduous labor and a considerable experience in literary production give a right to expect. The subject matter surely ought to secure for it a proper place in the more elevated ranks of English literature. May this first English translation, under the guidance of our holy faith, bring forth abundant fruits of the Spirit among English-speaking people in all parts of the world. Feast of the Annunciation, 1912, Fisker, Marison, South Chicago. Approbations. The first pope officially to take notice of Ciudad de Dios was Pope Innocent XI, who on July 3, 1686, in response to a series of virulent attacks and machinations of some members of the Sorbonne, known to be Jansenists, issued a breve permitting the publication and reading of the Ciudad de Dios. Similar decrees were afterward issued by Pope Alexander, Clement, and Benedict. These decrees were followed, not the Benedict now, Benedict the 13th. These decrees were followed by 2 decrees of the Congregation of Rites approved by Benedict XIV and Clement, in which the authenticity of Ciudad de Dios, as extant and written by the venerable servant of God, Mary of Jesus, is officially established. The great Pope Benedict XIII, when he was Archbishop of Benevent, used these revelations as material for a series of sermons on the Blessed Virgin. On September 26, 1713, the Bishop of Ceneda, Italy, objecting to the publication of the City of God, was peremptorily ordered by the Holy Office to withdraw his objections as interfering with the decree of Pope Innocent XI for the Universal Church. The process of canonization of Mary of Agreda was promoted by the Spanish bishops and other eminent men of the Church soon after her death in 1666, so she lived in the 16th century, not the 17th. It has resulted so far in securing her the title of Venerabilis, thus clearing the way to her beatification, for which, let us hope, God will soon raise a promoter among the many pious and eminent men who hold in esteem her writings, and have learned of her holy life and of the miracles wrought at her tomb. The Redemptorist Fathers published a new German translation in 1885, which was approved and highly recommended by the bishops of Ratisbon in the following terms: "We take pleasure in giving our episcopal approbation to the annotated translation of the Spanish original Ciudad de Dios of Mary of Jesus, and recommend this book, which will surely edify all readers and be occasion of great spiritual blessing." Ratisbon, September 29, 1885. Ignatius, Bishop of Ratisbon. Notable is the high recommendation of the Prince Archbishop of Salzburg, Apostle Legate, Primate of Germany, etc. According to the decrees of Pope Innocent XI and Clement XI, the book known as the Ciudad de Dios, written by the venerable servant of God, Maria de Jesus, may be read by all the faithful. A number of episcopal approbations, the recommendations of 4 renowned universities, namely of Toulouse, Salamanca, Alcala, and Louvain, and of the prominent members of different orders, coincide in extolling the above-named work. The learned and pious Cardinal d'Aguirre says that he considers all the studies of 50 years of his previous life as of small consequence in comparison with the doctrines he found in this book, which in all things are in harmony with the Holy Scriptures, the Holy Fathers, and councils of the Church. The Venerable Superior General of St. Sulpice, Abbe Emery, adds, "Only since I read the Revelations of Mary of Agreda do I properly know Jesus and his Holy Mother. We therefore do not hesitate in granting our episcopal approbation to Ciudad de Dios, and wish to recommend it to the faithful and especially to our clergy." Ciudad de Dios is the Spanish name for City of God. Franz Albert Archbishop, Archiepiscopal Chancery, Salzburg, September 12, 1885. A more recent official approbation of Ciudad de Dios is from the Bishop of Tarazona, prefacing the new edition of 1911 and 1912. We, Dr. James Azoide e Udabe, by the grace of God and the Apostolic See, Bishop of Tarazona, Administrator Apostolic of the Diocese of Tudela, etc., etc., have charged the priest Don Eduardo Arroyo, chaplain and confessor at the Convent of the Immaculate Conception of Agreda, carefully and exactly to compare the manuscript, which is to serve as copy for the printing of the new edition of the City of God, now about to be published by the religious of the above-named convent, with the authenticated autograph manuscript of the work they are preserved, and having ascertained by a personal revision of a great part of the manuscript that the said priest has diligently and faithfully fulfilled this charge imposed upon him by us, we now therefore certify that this present edition of Ciudad de Dios, with the exception of a few mere orthographic modifications, is entirely conformable to the autograph of that work as composed and written by the Venerable Mother Mary of Jesus of Agreda. Tarazona, April 7, 1911. James, Bishop of Tarazona. Finally follows the official approbation of the Right Reverend Bishop of Fort Wayne Diocese, where this English translation is published. Rome City, August 24, 1912. The Reverend George J. Blatter. Dear Reverend Father, my imprimatur is herewith granted to you your English translation of the work entitled Ciudad de Dios. Wishing you every blessing, I remain devotedly in Domino. H.J. Allerding, Bishop of Fort Wayne. I'll begin the first part in the next video.